What's good, y'all? I'm about to react to this DC film news post of James Gunn says Lanterns is connected to Salvation and the wider DCU storyline. Shows like Lanterns is very connected to all of that. It may not seem like it, but it all very connected. Oh snap. Don't let this be a comedy, dude. Cause I really didn't like Peacemaker like that. Cause that shit was a whole comedy, dude. I ain't like Peacemaker whatsoever, bro. On a connected story to DCU, including Salvation and Checkmate, this episode includes two major reveals. Can you talk about the decision to bring the planet of Salvation and the Checkmate agency into the DCU? Yeah, those are the two things that were always a part of this season. Even before I sat down with the writers, name, my voice cracking like a mug. Writers room at DCU Studios. I had sort of mapped out what I thought the general story was, and two important aspects of that were checkmate and especially salvation. Those were things that I had pitched to everybody when, even before we came to DCU, I pitched it to Mike DeLuca and Pam Albeed, the co-heads of Warner Bros. Picture, to Casey Blows, the head of HBO Max, and to David Zaslav, the head of WB. Then after we came into DC Studios and met with the rights room, we kind of worked things out a little bit more, so that was always pretty instrumental in the overarching story that I'm telling in the DCU. Like the other shows, like Lanterns, is very connected to all of that. It may not seem like it, but it is all very connected. I'm glad I ain't watched Peacemaker season 2 because I don't see what's gonna be connected to the Lanterns. I mean, if they just give us more of a backstory Green Lantern than they probably did with the movie of Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern project. Actually, I feel like that really should have been a movie instead of a show. I would appreciate a movie. Can you talk about the Salva and Checkmate appeal to you as things to have as narrative engines for what you're doing with DC? I always like Checkmate. Those Greg Rucka Checkmate stories are just comics that I really love. So I always wanted to build Checkmate into it somehow. And the idea of lying that out of bio, out of bio, to reveal, to really fulfill what is her sort of destiny, and the one who finds checkmate in the universe was important too. Crazy. Out of bio, that's the same player on in the NBA that got the same name. Bam Adebayo from Miami Heat. That's crazy. His whole last name spelled like that. I always liked the idea of using checkmate to deal with all these different characters. For instance, I said on Threads the other day when Augie gives his speech at the end of episode 7, some people judge very harshly and the other people think he's a hero. I don't know if he's either of those things. I think he's a good man who is trying to fight in small ways but doesn't think it can win anything bigger than that. I think that speaks directly to hardcore, especially, but always economos. In comparison, for all of Peacemaker's flaws, he always been brash and done whatever he thought the right thing was. Hardcore and economos, on the other hand, their co-worker bees, they've worked for intelligent Oregon Sanchez their whole lives and basically done what they've been told. They broke out a couple of times, like at the end of the Suicide Squad, but basically they're worker bees, and so I think that Augie was speaking directly to hardcore soul at the moment. At that moment, that leads into the desire to create an organization. I like to spell organization wrong. It said organized sanction. Or is that a word? I don't know. But using all the blood money truly for the good, an organization that is going to be separate from the other institutions in the DCU, which is the government corporations, the justice gang, and the typical meta-human gangs. It is accumulation of the 11th Street kids and their desire to be good. I ain't gonna lie, Justice Gang, like, that sounds so corny. I like Justice League better. Like, Justice Gang sounds so corny. They just, the first time they just came up with that, like, we gonna call ourselves the Justice Gang. Like, that sounds so corny. I mean, that sounds corny to me. That's why I like Justice League. League sounds so way better than gang or posse or a group. But Superman was a horrible movie for me. It wasn't working it for me, dude. I just didn't like that movie. But hopefully the Lanterns can really be way better than Superman. Hopefully, dude. Probably way better than Superman. The Flash, I say the Flash was alright to me. Uh, probably the Flash. Um, I know Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. That movie was alright to me, but I really enjoyed the first movie. I can feel I can watch the first Aquaman movie over and over and over again. I just love that movie. I ain't gonna lie, that first Aquaman movie, I'm really liking that better than Man of Steel, Henry Cavill. I ain't gonna lie. And Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and her second project, Wonder Woman, 84. But like some with Aquaman, like his first movie, I can watch that movie over and over again. Shoot, I want to go watch that in 3D. I need to buy me like a 3D DVD Blu-ray. And I might buy the steelbook. I might just buy the whole steelbook. But hopefully got 3D to it. I just like that colorful scenes they had in that movie. That was like a whole underwater adventure with that movie. It was just so beautiful to me. Like, I really enjoyed it. Well, that's all I'm gonna read. I know it's more to this post, but more to this article, but I ain't gonna read nothing else. And I really didn't care about Peacemaker. That comedy flop, I really didn't care about. But hopefully the Lanterns will exceed my expectations. Give more of a serious background to Greenland. Give the more seriousness to the DCU if James Gunn will hopefully do that. But it is what it is, man. Run the views up for your boy, and I catch y'all later. Peace.